Hello everybody, and Jess here, and welcome back to Metallic Rouge episode 9, in which the Battle of Althea continues. Yeah, I guess that's gonna be a good summary. In the previous episode, Rouge and the detective and Noid visited Rouge's brother, who was somewhere. I'm not sure whether he was at his own place or maybe at his father's. I'm honestly not sure. Nobody told us where do they intend to go, how did they even meet there. But I guess that's simply a secondary concern to what the effects of that visit were. And the effects of that visit were that they found a library of memories, of Roy Junghart, that contained, well, memories of Rouge. And not only, but mostly they were the memories that they browsed. So we learned nothing new, basically, but we did get straight confirmations that Rouge was created by Roy Junghart and Eva Cristela, sorry, and a confirmation that there is a code Eve. They call it, Eva calls it code Eve within Rouge, because Eva created the Asimov code. She regretted that. She regretted taking freedom away from the Neons, and so she decided to develop a countermeasure. We also know that the Immortal Nine were the first batch of Neons created by Roy and Eva, and that Roy very much did not want them to get rid of the Asimov code, so they hunted him down, and now they are hunting down Code Eve. Code Eve, of course, possessed by Rouge. Right, after they exited the house, they were attacked by Cyan Blue Star, Rouge's sister, supposedly, which makes me believe that either Roy didn't die at the hand of the Immortal Nine and still had some time to, somewhere in hiding, create Cyan, or she was the creation of Eva, who also supposedly died, but I also have a sneaking suspicion that she might have simply gone into hiding. Anything is possible, really. The Cyan Blue Star is certainly unaccounted for. She's not a part of the Immortal Nine. She's not the part of the initial batch, so she's kind of a rogue, I guess you could say, rogue agent. Right? So that's gonna be important and interesting. She arrived, wanted to beat Rouge up, but she noticed that Rouge doesn't want to fight, and she just went away. And that was it. Or was it in the previous episode? Shit, I don't remember, actually. No, yeah, no, it was, yeah, it was in the it was in episode 8. That's what I mean. Then we got a notification that Althea is under attack. Althea, where Naomi and a couple of other people are, where all of the Ids of the Immortal Nine and all of the bodies of the Immortal Nine that were recovered are. The attackers are, of course, Jill Sturgeon and Grau von Berg, who want to recover the Ids of their fallen friends, essentially. To what ends, I don't know. But it's hinted at that you need all of the Ids of all of the Immortal Nine, including Rouge, or rather, you need all of the Ids to gather the code Eve, and you need Rouge's Id to activate it. Something along those lines. Basically, all of the Immortal Nine need to sacrifice themselves, sacrifice their Ids, in order to free the rest of the Neons. seems to be the case. I don't know, I'm still not sure. We'll see. An unlikely ally appears. Unlikely or likely, I don't know really. Eden Baruch, who supports Rouge, who also got a proposition from Jill to join them, and he decided to deny that proposition and join forces with our protagonist. And then at the end, the Machias twins have arrived, and we still don't know who they're siding with. That's gonna be interesting. They could make for a third party, they could side with Jill, they could side with Rouge. We'll see. And also one more important thing, I guess, Noid died because the security thought that he's one of the attackers, and they shot him. And then when the detective guy Ash told them that no, he's friendly, they just dismissed it because it's just a neon. Is he human? No, then it doesn't matter. So yeah, it shows us the treatment of neons is not really getting any better, is it? I mean, why would it? Not like anything has changed so far. Big changes are coming, for sure. Although, that's also not a given, is it? It all seems to kind of depend on Rouge's decision whether she wants to free the Neons and risk years of civil war, or does she want to keep them shackled and keep the relative peace? Now, I don't know. It's up to her. And, well, unless she gets killed beforehand and Jill gets her hands on all of the Eids and manages to free the Neons without thinking about the repercussions of it, which is also a possibility. Not high chances of that happening, because that would require our protagonist to die, but, you know, non-zero, I would say. I could very well see this show ending with Rouge just dying for whatever reason. And yeah, that sums up the previous episode. In today's episode, I expect the continuation of the fight, probably a conclusion of it, and maybe Rouge to reconnect with Naomi, and maybe we're gonna get some answers from Naomi. That would be nice if it could happen, because she definitely knows more than she lets off, and it would be really nice to tap into that knowledge bank to perhaps clarify what in the hell is even going on right now. But yeah, I guess that's gonna be it as far as intros go, and we should just start watching this episode, right? And to do it, you will need your subs, of course, to follow along with me. I'm gonna need my sound to hear what's going on in the show, and I'm gonna have to ask you for support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below, or not. Share my content, spread the word. It costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that, we can start watching episode 9 of Metallic Rouge in 3, 2, 1, go. Okay, I guess they decided to attack Rouge. Because you're a bad guy. Okay, chest projectile. Tanks. Sure. Let's bring tanks indoors, why don't we? You know what? What would that you know what be? With Naomi joining them? Some sort of a special exosuit for her? Something like that? Because she's just a human as far as we're concerned. Ah, man. she's one of the biggest mysteries so far, and I really wonder where they go with her. It's interesting. Like, her character is really interesting to me because she seemingly switched allegiances, but she didn't. But she didn't change as a character. I don't know, it's just wild in that way. I would expect her to be like, oh, I was pretending to be your friend all this time. I'm actually a superintendent god or whatever her title is. But no, she's the same Naomi. uh, I can't wait for the conclusion, honestly. For all the cards to be on the table and for us to know what's going on actually, what's been going on. Hopefully we get a full proper explanation. Yeah, you probably shouldn't be, fighting among the superhumans. You're just a fleshy flesh thing. Is he going to die? Or he's just gonna be knocked out? As a... yeah, exactly. Yeah, you forgot that there is one more person involved in this fight. He doesn't like his Immortal 9 name. Is he trying to, like, cut off from that era of his life? And that was way too easy. Hello, Blue. Cyan, sorry. Are you going to join in on the fun, or are you just observing? Some sort of an EM projector? Like an EMP jammer? And what is that? Okay. And I was questioning in the previous episode what happened to the usurpers and the other bunch. I guess they are still involved, huh? Could it be that usurpers were never really a thing? They were just something that the Immortal Nine created essentially to, like, find a scapegoat, right? Like to hide their presence. It's not us, it's the usurpers. I don't know. I mean, yeah, they're sisters after all. Even using the exact same moveset, it seems. Nice music. Whatever that means. That's not gonna be easy. Yeah. Okay, so second henshin. Okay, you are henshin right now, but now henshin again. Okay. And Cyan is also getting a second henshin. Okay, what happened? Explosion happened. Okay. Yeah. So, like, matter and antimatter? Yeah, matter and antimatter. Gotcha. I mean, it didn't yet. Shoot. You don't have a direct link to her ear anymore? Is it only when she is sentient? Also, how is he alive without his aid? Can a Neon still function without an aid? Hmm. And why are you involved with her? Okay, are we gonna get a little bit more backstory on them? Well, that's suspicious. That's very suspicious. Hmm. And that's why they needed to be reined in with the Asimov code. So this is the visitor ship. Okay, so it was just theatrics. What? Are you a visitor? Okay. Also, that's some great facial animations from them both. All right. So I guess the visitors brought the neon technology. Visitors. Squid people. Zenoa. All right. They look surprisingly like henshin forms, don't they? And I guess they're modular. Probably the first human neon that they created, yeah. A lot of time. But not that much old, yeah. Okay, so they're like purely logical beings or something, right? Transcended emotions and whatnot. Fair. But she's not going to be able to accomplish much from up here. They interfered plenty by giving them technology. Hmm. Okay, so usurpers are a thing, after all. Yeah, makes sense. Start a civil war, this will weaken the Earth, and then the Earth can be taken easily. They want Venus. Why exactly do they want Venus? Because of the amount of neons? That's the thing we've seen when in like Jean's office once. And Venus is perfect for you, right? Mm-hmm. And humans terraform Venus for us. Mm-hmm. Yes. Evolved in an evil way. Well, that's vague. Yes. Which leads me to believe that visitors are not, you know, entirely good. Could it be that it's the usurpers who are the good guys? Oh, that's the carnival. Hmm. Whomst. Oh, you are still alive. How the hell? Hmm. I guess. I mean, fair is fair. Also, you're a Nian, so you probably won't die. That was easy. What were you expecting? A kick? A headbutt? To Venus? To Venus. But right. Is she really strong enough to be a trump card, though? Like, she is strong. We know that. But is she strong enough to stand against, like, the whole army of the usurpers? That works. And what I do with my day off is mine. That's also a logical decision. Yep. Here's the charts. uh, Space aliens destroyed by facts and logic. Good. That's how it should be. Paid day off. A free ship. Whose? Someone had to bring it here. Eden? Ash and Eden. Hmm. Hmm. uh Oh, that was something. This was an episode that I was waiting for, honestly. I didn't expect them to go like... I mean... I wanted to say that I didn't expect them to go full trigger with aliens in the final act, but aliens were present here since the first act, so... So they're not pulling a trigger. So many things make sense now. Neans are connected to aliens. Rouge is Immortal 9. Code Eve the First Neon. Naomi saves Rouge. There we go. Humanity-based neons on visitors, kinda sorta. Ex-Noah, we have a connection of that term. That's visitors. Venus is to be a habitat for visitors. There we go. Yeah, there's a lot of theories that are just kind of checked off in this episode already. But let's go through it again, shall we? Yes, we shall, as always, as is tradition. Surprising to see the Machias twins join the side of the rebellion. Honestly, I would rather... I would be more inclined to think that they would appear and say, see, now you're a good guy, Rouge. That's how a good guy behaves, and join forces. Something like that. But no, they decided to join the bad guys. Seemingly. It's still not entirely clear who's the good guys, who's the bad guys, really, if you think about it. Why don't you understand what's in my heart? Yeah. And he shares his heart with you. It's up to you to understand it. And I guess it explains why Naomi is so fearless. Why she is willing to go basically to the front lines, right? She's a Neon. She's even older than the Immortal 9. She's like the original Neon. Original. Even the Immortal 9 are clones, essentially. So she's probably so much more... I don't want to say powerful or stronger than the rest, because she's not a combat model, but so much more advanced, I would say. She doesn't seem to require nectar either, which makes me wonder whether that's an artificial limitation imposed on Neans by humanity, besides the Asimov code, or humans were unable to produce the perfect Neans, something like that. Actually, I think I have it noted down somewhere about nectar. Or maybe not. Or maybe not. Let me note it down just in case. Nectar isn't needed originally. Humans created it to additionally limit Neons. Probably. Fair assumption, I would say. Now, Jean is not a Neon though, and he still jumps in the middle of battle just to save Rouge, which I guess alleviates my concerns that he's just using Rouge. I had a theory that he just wants revenge on the killers of his father, and to exact that revenge, he's going to use Rouge. He's going to give her false information. He's going to direct her where she needs to go, and it's the puppet master maybe who will free Rouge from the influence of her brother. But no, it seems like he genuinely cares about her. So that's a thing. And yeah, very easy to kidnap him. Give your id in exchange for his life. I wonder what even is id at this point. It's not the soul or the mind or whatever, because a Neon can function without it. But no other Neon does. Right? Like all of the people, all of the Neons that Rouge killed so far, Sarah and the rest, they are kept, their bodies are kept in tanks and their ids are kept separate, which either makes me believe that tanks keep them from waking up because they can just wake up and be out and about without their ids, or maybe Eden is special somehow in that he alone can function without an id. I wonder which is it, because we really have no precedent besides Eden for a Neon functioning without an id. Do regular Neons even have ids? Or is it just the Immortal 9? Is it just the original ones? I wonder. And yeah, Eden Ex Machina, Eden Varrock. Right. And that's what he prefers. Which really tells me that he just kind of wants to leave his past behind. He's not proud of his identity as a Neon. Could it be that he's part human? Maybe. I don't know. And this really felt a little bit too easy. Right? Like he just stood there and basically allowed it to happen. I don't know, he seemed like such a badass early on when he appeared, and now he just gets tricked by a smokescreen, essentially. Smokescreen that, yeah, he himself created by blowing up this piece of debris. I don't know. Just kind of a bit of a shift in how I perceive him. I'll keep you alive a bit longer. I wonder if it's something she did that keeps him alive. Question it what? I don't know. And here comes Cyan. Really seems like Cyan is just here to make the story take a little longer. Really. I'm getting that kind of a... What's the opposite of Deus Ex Machina again? Malus Ex Machina? I think it... let me Google that right quick. Malus Ex Machina, is that a thing? It's the title of a game? Song? Something? Manus Ex Machina, it's an exhibition. Malus Ex Machina is a movie? Okay. Apparently. Yeah, apparently it's not like a literally concept, so I'm just gonna say Evil Deus Ex Machina. Because it really seems like things would have gone faster. Not necessarily better, but faster if Rouge was not stopped. If she were to jump on board of the ship and maybe grab Jan and escape, or maybe be taken to Venus or something like that, we would have learned less, of course. She would probably either die, or Jan would die, or something bad would probably happen, but it would happen fast. And we cannot allow that to happen. We cannot allow her to make this mistake, so we drop Cyan on her head out of nowhere, basically, and we have them fight, which stops Rouge from boarding the ship, and we can take a little bit longer to progress. And they really seem identical. They're performing even the exact same moves. I wonder if Cyan is actually a copy of Rouge, not just a Neon created after the fact, but maybe Ava or Roy somehow copied Rouge in her entirety and just stuffed her into a different body. Yeah, reverse your face or something. Technobabble. Very good point, though. I really like that point. I like this exchange between them. I'm really glad that Rouge did not just immediately trust Naomi. She has no reason to trust her. She was betrayed time and again and given no explanation, so of course she would be distrustful, right? I like it. I like it. Focus your consciousness, deform one more time like you're becoming a gladiator. So this form is officially called a gladiator form. I really was expecting a second henshin right now, because we know that Rouge does have a second henshin, the one with wings. So I was expecting this is the moment. This is the moment when she gets a second henshin, and perhaps Cyan doesn't have a second henshin, right? Rouge gets more powerful and beats Cyan easily. Something like that, especially when the halo started appearing only on Rouge's head. But then they start, I don't know, resonating or something, and a halo appears on Cyan's head as well, and I was thinking, oh shit, they're both getting a second henshin, and the fight is gonna get to a whole next level, right? And Naomi was mistaken, and right, they'll still be equally matched, but now second henshin. But no, apparently she wasn't performing a second henshin, but rather that phase inversion thing, so she created energy and anti-energy, and when they meet, it explodes. Yeah. And that's how we take down Cyan. And he's still alive. He's not. He wasn't so lucky. Actually, makes me wonder though, if Neons are machines, cannot they be fixed? Right? If they're artificial humans, can you just not fix a Neon? If they're not organic, if their brains, most importantly, if their brains are not organic, humans die when injured because our brains need oxygen and glucose and stuff. And if our blood stops flowing, the brain doesn't get that and the brain dies. Or if you injure a brain, then the brain just doesn't work no more because it's injured. If neons are not biological, there's no reason for their mechanical or electronic or whatever neurons to die. So if you could bring back the flow of electricity or power liquid or whatever in them, could you not resurrect a neon? Could you not fix a neon? I wonder. Maybe they are actually partially biological. Maybe humanity made up for any deficiencies in technology by merging biology with the exnoetic technology. I don't know really. We aren't really told particularly much about the particularities of how neons are created, are we? Mass attack on Alethea. She's apparently in a random bed in just Ash's place. Why? Why is she at Ash's place? Why is she not, I don't know, somewhere? At the remains of Alethea? At Jean's super secret underground lab? Somewhere that isn't his flat? Why? Why here? First intelligent. Yeah. They're the aliens, and apparently, yeah, people know where their ships are. So there goes my theory that visitors and usurpers are just human creation, maybe an excuse for something, or maybe a branch of humanity or something like that. No, they are legit aliens. First proto-neons, they made the first neons they made, the proto-neons, yeah, entirely different. And the first neons created by the ex-Noah are even more different. They are beings with the potential to surpass humanity. Yeah, seems to be the case. This is cool. I always like it when alien ships are like actually alien, and this is very alien. An entrance to a ship just unfolding, not opening, not unscrewing, not disappearing, unfolding. That's cool. That's super cool. Yeah, I like the ship design here. She just takes off the helmet, and I thought, here's when I still thought that she takes the helmet off because this ship is perfectly livable to humans. It's actually a human ship, built by humans. But the humans who build it, they needed an excuse because maybe the rest of the humanity is not ready to learn that the failed expedition to the Andromeda galaxy actually succeeded, but they ran into a timey-wimey warp drive malfunction and they moved back in time or whatever kind of bullshit, right? This is essentially very advanced human ship. And they're covering it up by saying, oh, it's the aliens. That's why nobody besides VIPs has ever seen them. Because they're just humans. They're just humans. But they have good tech. That's what I expected. But no, the explanation is much more simpler, actually. Naomi is not a human. Which led me to believe that, oh, she's a visitor then. Would make sense. She's a visitor, she's probably shape-shifting, which became kind of more, I don't know, more valid as a theory when I saw this bunch of flowy animation, right? Oh, her skin isn't staying on correctly or something like that. But no, she's a neon, and the animation is this way just for the sake of it being this way. It's not the first time they're giving characters so much facial animation, but it again caught me off guard. Not in a bad way, just in a weird and why way. It's good animation. It's very good animation. I love the subtle, I really like this shuffle here. I really like Naomi's mannerisms in general. That's cool. I love it. Yeah, there's a lot of facial animation here. There's a lot of expressiveness. Let me... Parts of it are even animated on once. 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2 1 2, right? 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 1. They really just gave us dialogue Sakuga. I cannot call it anything else. This is just dialogue Sakuga. Two characters are talking and they're just adding Sakuga to it just for the sake of doing it. And those are the visitors, or the ex-Noah. Reminds me of the aliens from the... I can't remember the title of the movie, but I liked it. Where the, like, whatchamacallit, an obelisk of some sort lands in a field, and inside of it there is an alien that looks like a squid, and they're trying to figure out its language, right? And the language is based on like ink stains in the aquarium or whatever. Movie Alien Squid Monolith Ship Ink Stains. It's just called Monolith. Of course, it's just called Monolith. Good movie. It has like 6.4 on IMDb, but I honestly believe that it's better than that. Sci-fi horror thriller, yeah. Yeah. High concept science fiction, apparently. Wait, is it Monolith? Or is it not? No, it's not Monolith. It's something else. I guess Bing isn't smart enough. I'm gonna forgo my Bing rewards and use Google. Google, are you smarter than Bing? And can you figure it out? Prometheus? No, it's not. Arrival. I think it's Arrival. Yeah. Probably Arrival. Yep. Story centers are. Yeah, it's Arrival. DVD on Amazon is $60. Arrival. Cool movie. I can recommend. I have no clue about Monolith. Haven't watched it, apparently. But Arrival is cool. And there was an alien that was also a like space squid. Those are much more colorful, and they look very like the henshin forms, like extremely like the henshin forms. I guess it explains what the neons were based on, right? Neons were based on, in some form, on the visitors, and that explains why proto-neons have the second form. I would assume that neons for the use of the ex-Noah have the form of henshin shapes, right? Their shapes, because we humans create robots in the shape of ourselves. So of course aliens would create robots in the shape of themselves. But because the technology was shipped off to humans, they tried to adapt it. And the proto-neons were like a partial success. They managed to create neons in the ex-Noah form, and they managed to like slap a facade on top that makes them look more like humans. That's my running theory, at least. And the next batch was better. They got rid of the ex-Noah form. We ex-Noah once had forms resembling those of humans, but we evolved for interstellar travel, right? And Naomi was the first. Fasto. And she's old. Your thought patterns have changed after all of your time working with Rouge Red Star. I would say her thought patterns have changed after interacting with humanity for so long. We have a way of corrupting whatever touches us, don't we? Your judgment remains logical, so we will trust your judgment anyway. And Naomi absolutely uses that. She absolutely destroys them with facts and logic to get her way. I love it. She's so human by scheming that way, right? Those aliens are so alien because they don't use emotions, expressions, none of that. They're purely logical beings. Naomi knows them. Naomi knows that logic, but also knows the human way of thinking, of expressing, of scheming. She learned that by being among humans for however many 100 years. You need to stay here until all this is resolved. Yeah, makes perfect sense. We keep Rouge here out of reach so they can't get their hands on Code Eve. However, Rouge doesn't want that. Rouge wants to help. Rouge wants to save her brother. Rouge wants to do something. I'm still not sure what's her choice gonna be. Is she going to free the Neons or not, or is she going to figure out some intermediary solution, which is entirely plausible, right? If we give Venus to the visitors, why don't we give, I don't know, Mercury? Probably a little bit too hostile. Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars. What's beyond Mars? Do we have any other rocky planets? Pluto, but Pluto is too far. Saturn and Jupiter and Neptune are gas giants. One of Jupiter's moons, I know, give them Titan or whatever. Right, we can give a planet to the Neons, and we can all live peacefully. Until Neons decide that they want to wipe out humanity, in which case nothing's gonna stop them, so that's gonna be a problem. All Neons will be set free, rendering them uncontrollable, yeah. And usurpers will take advantage of the chaos. They absolutely will. That's why they are driving forward this whole entire rebellion. They will benefit from that. They absolutely will. And Jill and the bunch fell for it because they needed help. Usurpers offered it, right? Oh, we know what you're going through. We were also enslaved by the evil visitors ex Noah. We will help you with your rebellion. But all they really want is agents among humanity that will not be suspected much, and they want to start a civil war, and once the civil war is underway, they're just gonna swoop in and wipe out the remains of whoever won. And they're gonna get Earth to themselves. A perfect plan, really. Perfect plan. The usurpers are targeting our solar system and take a certain planet away from them, probably Earth. Let's face it. The planet that's currently home... Oh, or Venus, I guess, because they want Neons and they want to take control of them to use them as an army to attack Earth. Probably. Makes them an ideal site for the base of your rebellion, yeah. There's no planet more worthy of using for the genesis of our new world. Really? Why would it be? I wonder what's so special about Venus. Do I have it noted down somewhere? I don't think I have. Something special about Venus. Something special about Venus. And by that I mean something special besides just being the future home of the visitors, but something, maybe a resource of some sort or whatever. Maybe an ancient alien city buried beneath or something. Neons were created for Venus. Yeah, so even the ex-Noah want to use the Neons, want to exploit them. Or rather, they don't look at it as an exploitation. The same way we humans don't look at using a power drill as an exploitation of it, right? It's just a tool. They don't even see Neons as something that can be exploited. The humans provide a planet where we can exist in our original forms. That planet is Venus, and the humans agree to allow our race to migrate there. The Neons in exchange, the ex-Noah in exchange give humans their technology, and the Neons were created to perform that labor. Right. The Junoids. I wonder about the origin of the usurpers now. Neons, sure, Neons. Ex-Noah, sure, they lost their home planet, they need to find another one. It happens that there is a planet unutilized rather, in an inhabited solar system, but humans are not using Venus anyway, they cannot survive on Venus. We're gonna give them some technology and they're gonna give us the planet. Perfect, right? Makes perfect sense. What is it about usurpers, though? Because I really don't buy the, like, oh, they evolved in an evil way. How do you evolve in an evil way? Evolution is not good or evil, it's a fact. You cannot evolve in an evil way. That's not how it works. That's just not how it works. Did they evolve for evil? Did they grow horns and sharp teeth? And a taste for human blood? Or what? What's the deal with them? I don't know. Something tells me we cannot entirely trust the visitors. Actually, X Noah are not truthful and usurpers are not evil. That would be my running theory right now. Or maybe neither is good or evil. That's also entirely plausible, just shades of grey. Also, the name Yunoids really makes me wonder. It really implies an origin at Jupiter. Were they always there? Because they take their name from the Jupiter, because they are stationed there right now, but where do they come from? Did they live on Jupiter all this time and are showing themselves up only now? Or what's the deal with them? I don't know. Both you and humans want to use Neos, work them like tools, make them fight for you? Yes. We recognize their value as logical beings. Yeah, and only as logical beings. As beings that you can tell them, make labor or you hurt. And they logic their way into, I'm gonna make labor or I hurt and I don't want hurt. That's my takeaway from it. Venus, and of course the carnival is involved in it. I'm still not sure about the role of the carnival. We know that they have a connection to the usurpers. But at the same time, the puppet master wanted to help Rouge, or at least not hamper her. So I wonder what's his deal specifically. And Yunoids are on the move. Defcon 1, and he's alive. How? Why? Why did you give me to Ochrona? Yeah, you would have been dismantled right away if I hadn't. Why exactly? Is it a case of someone, being Ash, noticed that Rouge is Rouge, the metallic red warrior, and reported that? Or maybe one of the other passengers, and she would either have been taken by whatever other government body and dismantled, or she would be given to Ochrona, where Naomi can exert some of her influence at least to protect her from being dismantled. Maybe, right? Kinda like, I don't know, putting important people in prison because prison is well guarded and nothing's gonna happen to them unless they commit sewer slide and by someone else's hands, as it often happens. Talk to me before you make decisions like that. There wasn't really time, was there? Weird water, ran out of nectar. I really find it interesting that even the Immortal Nine, including Rouge, still require nectar, but Naomi seemingly doesn't. I really wonder whether it's a conscious decision on humans' part, or some sort of an inherent fault in how humans recreated the Neon technology. Yeah, one punch, just as she promised. We're even now friends. Friends again. Rouge goes to Venus. This is interesting. We ex Noah are not permitted to interfere in any individual's decision making. Because just as much as I thought that they might be the evil ones, this kinda alleviates that concern, if not cancels it outright, in my mind. If they value an individual's decision this much that they will not interfere, even if it might actively harm their cause, they will not stop you. Can they really be evil? I don't think they can. This show really has a way of making you think of anything and everything and anybody as evil or good or something in between at any given point in the show. Nobody is certain. Maybe Ash is a good guy. Maybe. That would be as far as I'm able to trust anybody here. Maybe Ash. But nobody else. Nobody else, not even Rouge, honestly. That's cool. That's really cool. We accept your proposal. Yeah. We will begin deliberations on an alternate plan in the event your proposal fails. Naomi stays here, but she requests a day off, and of course it's logical, right? It's backed by facts and logic, and the facts and logic are that it improves my efficiency. So, if you want me to be an efficient liaison, give me a day off. Yes, actually, that makes sense. I can see the charts, and you are correct. You get a day off. And they don't really think about the repercussions. Actually, that might be the fault in their thinking that can be used. They are beings of facts and logic, and thus they assume that any creation of theirs will also be a being of facts and logic. Right? So they logicked out that Naomi should not go to Venus because it's suboptimal. So of course Naomi would also logic the same thing out, right? Because there's only one logic. You cannot use logic to come to two separate conclusions. So she requested a time off, so they gave her the time off, not even considering that she might use that time off to go with Rouge. It literally just does not compute. It's illogical for her to do that. I'm impressed that you've been able to deal with them all this time. You get used to it, yeah. She understands how they work, but she has human cunning now. Now she learned human cunning, and that makes her a force to be reckoned with. How are we gonna get to Venus? Thanks to Ash, who somehow managed to grab a interplanetary jet. How? You're just a random detective dude. Like, right, okay, Eden is with him, but I don't think Eden has any connections to get a jet like that either. Did he use the remains of Uchrona? Of Althea? Or just grabbed a random jet with keys in because the pilot just died in the attack? Could be anything, really. Oh boy. Very good episode. A very, 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 very good episode. It really solidifies my belief, my feeling that the first half of this season, the first 6-ish episodes, were just an intro. We're just there to create a world, to introduce us to the characters, and only from episode 7 onwards, the real story starts. It really solidifies that belief, because we are finally getting like a proper plot line that we can follow, you know? I mean, we already had a proper plot line, but it was more like a plot hole than a plot line, with Rouge having to hunt down the Immortal Nine and us not knowing even why. I also like how things are being like well rounded off and explained well without sometimes without even explaining those things outright. I just noticed that was a big mystery. Why is Rouge hunting down the Immortal Nine? Right? And it was never like outright started why she outright stated what was the plan there. We just get that from the dialogue between characters, right? Nobody says outright, stands on screen, says, you were supposed to kill the Immortal Nine because we need their aids to not let the Code Eve happen. Nobody said it outright. It just kind of was built, the answer was created in our heads through people's interactions, characters' interactions, and character dialogue, which is a really good way of doing it. And I really like that we are in the phase of answering questions right now, but we're not running out of questions. On the contrary, we answer plenty, but plenty are still created. I also really like the fact and the way they made me just not trust anybody and question anything and everything. Because on the surface, if you were, for example, just shown this episode, you would be able to, or rather, you would be led to believe that visitors good, usurpers bad, humanity kinda gray, Nian's victims. Simple. Naomi good, Rouge good, right? But it's not that simple, not at all. On the surface it might look that way, but this show really conditioned me to look for like gaps in explanations, gaps in reasoning, to really be vigilant to things like the visitors saying that what was it that they said that tipped me off? Shit, I forgot. I forgot what it was that they said, and it was so important. Oh, right, that the usurpers evolved in an evil way, because that's just not a thing. So they must be hiding something, right? Maybe it's just a fault in writing, right? It could very well be. It could very well be that a writer sat in the writing room and just wrote down, they evolved in an evil way, like the Uruk-hai, or whatever, right? But it could very well be that it's supposed to be a clue to tell us that they're hiding something. They found a very simple cop-out. Oh, they evolved evil. Something that Rouge, not being a particular genius, would probably just take at face value and be like, oh, sure, so they're evil then. But something that perhaps has deeper meaning or is just an outright lie. Early on, I really was not sure about this show. I'm gonna be honest, the first episode in particular, was rough. I was completely lost. I almost regretted the fact that I started watching it, because there was a moment where I thought that, oh shit, I've gotten myself into some art house bullshit. They're gonna be creating questions, not providing answers. There's probably gonna be some asynchronous storytelling, right? We're gonna jump 20 years into the future, then 5 years into the past, and everybody's gonna have some weird motives, and some people are gonna speak in rhyme. And we're gonna see an LSD-induced fever dream of one of the characters that will reveal the truth about God, or some sort of bullshit like that. I really was afraid that it's going to end, that it's going to go in that direction. Thankfully not. Thankfully not. It's kind of late that this show really shows what it is. Not gonna lie. But on the other hand, the introductory episodes were very much needed to establish this world. Because if the first 6 episodes did not exist, I would be ever so much more lost right now. The show might have a better flow, questionably, arguably. It might have gotten more attention from people if it started around episode 6, for example, or episode 7, sure. But all of those people would be immensely confused by what's happening. Kind of a trade-off, isn't it? We need a lot of world building and we need to provide it somehow, but we also need to get the ball rolling and we need to get the people interested. I hope that the people who discarded this show after the first episode, and I'm willing to bet there's plenty, give it another shot. It takes its time, and I know that it's, it's a trope right now. People saying, dude, watch this show, it really gets good after 200 episodes. But really though, not like the first episodes of Metallic Rouge were bad, absolutely not. But it really gets the ball rolling after episode 7 or thereabouts. It really does. And I'm glad I stuck out with it. I might be behind the schedule on it, precisely because I was kind of getting tired of it, of not kind of getting anywhere by episode 6, but then episode 7 and 8 happened, and I'm in. I'm back in. I'm interested. I'm engaged again. So hopefully, if people did not give it a shot, they will give it a shot eventually. When it finishes and gets reviews and people start talking about it, hopefully people talk about it. It is a show worth talking about, for sure. Anime original too. And really good animation and art and everything. Would be a shame if it just kind of disappeared from like popular common mind or whatever I wanted to say here. Yeah, I guess that's gonna be it. I've already been talking far too long, much longer than I intended to, so I guess we're gonna stop this episode here, and you guys, you tell me, what did you think of this episode, my reaction, my theories, stuff like that. Say so in the comments down below. Like this video if you liked it, subscribe to be notified of future videos, not only Metallic Rouge, but also Yuuki, Yuuna, Frieren, Shangri-La Frontier. We're gonna be ending those soon. Majo to Yajuu, Sasaki to Pichan, plenty others coming in the future. Click the bell to be notified when I go live, because I do sometimes. Support the channel if you want monetarily on Patreon or YouTube down below. On Patreon for $10 a month, you get early access to non-seasonal shows like Yuuki, Yuuna, and for just $1 you get a role on the Discord and a place in the credits. You can also support me on YouTube directly via membership, super thanks, super chats, and if you don't want to spend any money whatsoever, you don't have to. Share my content, spread the word, it costs you nothing and helps a lot. And with that out of the way, that's gonna be it from me for today. So as always, you guys do all the good stuff, and I'm gonna see you in the next one. Cheers! And here's my wonderful Patreons: QB Without a Net, the Group Survivors, Zaire and Absolution, Yuki Ally, Ishtamu, Marcos, and Dr. Watt, Akamancer, Marsh, Fassel, and Hans Peter. And you can join them if you want without having to create antimatter.